Over the next 2 weeks, we will be learning about turns, right angles, understand parallel, perpendicular, vertical, horizontal lines, recognise the right angles and parallel perpendicular lines in 2D shapes, and recognise and describe, construct 3D shapes. Wow, we are going to be very busy over the next 2 weeks. Now let's look what this little chap says down here. He's saying, we will see some different 2D shapes. Which of these are quadrilateral? Remember what quadrilateral are? What are quadrilateral shapes? The way I remember it is I think about a quad bike which has got 4 great big wheels, and they only have 4. And quadrilateral shapes only have 4 sides. They don't have less, don't have more, and they don't have any curves. So quadrilateral. Which ones then are quadrilaterals? You might want to pause it while you think about it. Shall we have a look, see if you got them right? Did you get them right? Don't worry if you didn't. Right by the end of the unit, you'll be able to do it really quickly. Let's look at these 3D shapes next. Let's look at these next. So we've got all of these shapes, and I'm wondering if you could match where they are. They're all mixed up. They're all mixed up. Right. Shall we have a look where the cylinder, where do you think the cylinder was? Yeah, did you get it right? What about the cone? I was thinking of an ice cream cone. What about my square-based pyramid? And what about my sphere? Right, so which ones are left then? Shall we have a look at the ones on the bottom? Match the words. Cube. Yeah, triangular prism. Cuboid. What about my tetrahedron? There we are. How did you go on? Good? Yeah, lots and lots of different shapes there. Let's look then. We will need some maths words this week. Well, we always do, don't we, when we start a new unit. Which of these have you heard before? Now, there's 24 altogether. I'd imagine some of them you've heard before, but you don't know what they mean. Some of them you've heard and you know what they mean. How many do you know out of 24? If I read them quickly, you count if you've recognised them and understand them. Right angle, acute, obtuse, parallel, perpendicular, vertical, horizontal, triangle, quadrilateral, kite, trapezium, rhombus, parallelogram, cuboid, triangular prism, square-based pyramid, cone, cylinder, sphere, edges, faces, vertices, clockwise and anti-clockwise. How many did you know? Let's have a look what we're doing today then. Today we are going to be looking at turns and angles. Now, when we are turning, I am going to show you now what we mean by turns. So hang on 1 minute. So if I stand here facing you, I am in the middle. Yeah, I am facing forward. If I go clockwise, which is going to be that way, I'm going to do 1/4 turn. Is 1/4, and I've gone clockwise the same way as the clock. If I go another quarter turn, now you should be able to see the back of me, you can see that I've done half a turn. And we know that a quarter equals a half, doesn't it? So we can see I've done a quarter. If I move another quarter, I'm going back towards where I started. I've now done 3/4. And then if I go again, I'm back where I started. So that way, clockwise. I can, of course, go anti-clockwise and go this way. So that would be another quarter turn, all the way around another half turn. So if I wanted to turn halfway, I could either go 1/4 turn and then another quarter turn clockwise, or I could go anti-clockwise, a quarter turn, another turn, which I am then halfway round. If I wanted to go all the way around, I would go 1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarter, 4 quarters would take me all the way round. And each one of these, remember, is worth 90 degrees. So that is 90. If this is 90, what would it be halfway? Got it? Yeah, 180. A straight line would be 180. Right. Yeah, does that help it a little bit? I hope so for when we're doing this. Let's look at this picture then. Here we have got a machine, and the scientists are in this machine. They want to take some photos. I think they're a little bit moon buggy like that. Yeah. They're facing the mountain at the moment, but they want to do some turns. Remember when I was turning? Think about it. So I'm going to read these and you might want to pause. The scientists want to photograph the crater. What instructions should they send to the rover to turn to face? So it's got to be facing the crater. And there's the crater. How would rover make a complete turn? So you've got two things to answer there. What instructions would he say if he wanted to get from the mountain to the crater? And how would the rover make a complete turn? Right, you might want to pause and let's have a look. So let's have a look. The instructions buttons are for a quarter turns. A quarter turn is called a right angle. These are both right angle turns. We can go clockwise or anti-clockwise, any of them. We know if we're going anti-clockwise, it's going this way, 90 degrees, don't forget. And if we are going clockwise, we would go this way. So it would be quarter turns and they're both worth 90. And we know if we wanted to make 2 quarter turns, it would be halfway. We know that 90 and 90 make 180. So a straight line, even if it's vertical or horizontal, it would be 180 degrees. So to face the crater, he needs to move. Let's just have a think. To face the crater, to make 2 quarter turns, it can turn either clockwise or anti-clockwise. The final direction will be the same for a half turn, which it will, won't it? You go, it doesn't matter which way you go, so long as you give instructions which way. Let's look at this section then, section B. We might need him back for this. Let's have a look. 4 quarter turns make a complete turn. To make a full turn, the rover should make 4 quarter turns in the same direction. It could turn clockwise or anti-clockwise, so it could start here and would go all the way around. Go 90, 90, 90, 90, or 90, 90, 90, 90. And if we look at it, what we look at when we're looking at fractions, we know that 2 quarters, we've got 1 quarter there, another quarter would give us 2 quarters, which give us half a turn. But if we added all those quarters up, remember you did this before, didn't you, when you was doing your fractions? So if I went all the way around, my 4 quarters would be a whole turn all the way round. Did we say something like that? Is that what you said? Yeah, get it right. Let's look at this. Think together now. Got my pause button as well. The rover is facing the crater. It makes a quarter turn. Where could it be facing? It's making a quarter turn. Doesn't say which one. Where might it be facing? What did you say? It could be going. Remember, it's starting at the crater. It could be going to the canyon if it's going. And if you look at where that would be, if we're looking at it that way, that would be clockwise. Or it could be going to the volcano, right? Because it's only making, it didn't say whether it was anti-clockwise or clockwise. What about this then? Let's look at 2A. Now the rover is facing the volcano, so we can see he's facing the volcano here. It makes 3 quarter turns clockwise. We're going clockwise, which way would it go? Remember which way. If we're going clockwise, think of the hands of a clock going round. So it would go 1, another quarter, and another quarter. So can we see why it would be at the mountain? Yeah, because it would have gone 3/4 of the way round. From where the rover is now, try 3/4 turns anti-clockwise. What do you notice? And let's have a look what it would look like. So where is it now? At the moment, he's actually not at the volcano now. He's actually at the mountain. So if we're at the mountain now, we want 3/4 turns. Yeah. Look where we go. 1, 2, 3. It'd end up back at the volcano. Did you get that? Yeah, I think you'd be really good at turns. Let's look at your challenge. It says a rover turns 2 right angles. Now it is facing the meteorite. Now the meteorite's here, but remember it's already turned 2 right angles. Where was it facing at the beginning? So you might want to stand up and do it and turn around if it makes it easier. Think about where it is. Let's look at the second section. The rover is facing the meteorite. Then it turns to face the unidentified object. So there's the meteorite. Then it goes to the unidentified object. Write 2 different instructions that it could do. So there's 2 different ways you could have got there. Write them down. Yeah, I like that one. I think today's has been quite fun. Let's have a look then at your reflect. When I turn by 2 right angles, I will be. Now, where will you be? If you were turning, remember, stand like I did, turn 2 right angles, and that doesn't mean back and forth. I don't think that's what it means. I think it means carrying on. Where will you be? And the second little bit. When I turn by 4 right angles, where will I be? I do like this one today. I think tomorrow's will be just as much fun. So, good luck, and I shall see you tomorrow.